Alright, hi there, this is Stephen with Karma Astrology, and this is my daily moon forecast for today. It is Friday, April 16th, 2021. This is Santa Fe, New Mexico. It is 3:52 p.m. right now here. So, if you're on the Eastern Hemisphere, it is probably the 17th, hence the 16th and 17th. So, this is my kind of Vedic astrology daily moon forecast. If you've never been here before, I like to give you an idea of what kind of energy we're dealing with on each day of the year, just depending on where the moon is in the sky. It's going to change, in once a month because the moon takes about a month to go around the zodiac. And in Vedic astrology, we have 27 signs that indicate where the moon is or it just indicates a different section of the sky that represents just about a day's worth of time for the moon to travel. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to clear my throat. We have pretty bad allergies here today in Santa Fe with all the junipers pollinating, and I am definitely affected by it. Alright, I'll just get into it. If you look over here, you can see the moon in turquoise. It is in the end of Taurus. Taurus, that sign, if you look at the TAU at the top, MO is the moon, RA is Rahu, or the north node of the moon actually, so it's still in conjunction with Rahu. And moon is now at 25 and change, and in the nakshatra of Mrigashira. Now, just in general, the moon in Taurus is a very comfortable, grounded kind of feeling, because the moon shows our consciousness, our thoughts, and our feelings, and Taurus shows where we look for pleasure and joy and a sense of happiness or sensual enjoyment, life through the senses in a way. So we're very hyper aware of all the sensations around us or that we feel, especially when the moon, our sensitivities, is in this sign of Taurus. And typically that means that we're more attracted to things that feel good, taste good, touch good, look good. All of those things are much more on our consciousness on a day like today, or the last couple of days since the moon has been in Taurus. And now to drill a little bit deeper, the Indian nakshatra, or constellation, that the moon is in today is called Mrigashira. That's that MRG up there. And Mrigashira is the kind of end of Taurus and the beginning of Gemini. So it covers this kind of transition period in between the sign, in between the earth sign of Taurus and the air sign of Gemini. So it shows this kind of lightening of energy, this kind of, excuse me, buoyancy, this as we go from the dense earth of Taurus to the vibrant, light, and very buoyant air sign of Gemini. And Mrigashira is there to kind of guide us along this way, as it shows a sense of curiosity. Mrigashira is related to playfulness and a general sense of searching for things. It's ruled by or connected to the deity, the ancient Vedic deity called Soma, who is a lunar deity. Excuse me, sorry, my allergies. But the lunar deity is Soma, and Soma is this divine nectar kind of god. It's a kind of divine ambrosia, something that intoxicates us and makes us feel like alive and just very blissed out in a way. So there might be a propensity towards using alcohol or marijuana or something on a day like today. Excuse me, sorry about my throat. But in general, when the moon is in Mrigashira, we find ourselves searching for something. And in the Taurus side, it's more searching for beauty and searching for, kind of this insatiable sense of pleasure or joy, especially with Rahu there, because Rahu shows our insatiable appetite. So when we have this combination like today, we're looking for things and ways to feel good, ways to connect to other people and in a very joyful, maybe even sexual way, because that tends to bring a lot of pleasure and joy in our interactions with other people. There's also this sense of just searching and wandering and looking for something on a day like today when the moon's in Mrigashira. There's a lot of this wandering energy. So it's a good day for learning new things, for trying to figure yourself out a little bit, discovering who you are in your own unique way. There's a lot of this misunderstandings on a day like today when we're just curious about something very random to the rest of the world and society, maybe to our families it's obscure or weird, so they don't really understand why we're looking into this subject or obsessing over this thing or that thing. And so if you find yourself doing that, try and be productive with it. Like learn something that really calls to you, or just ponder things. It's a great day to reflect and just to maybe take your knowledge a bit deeper, or that kind of reflective aspect of mulling over what you've learned in order to be able to process it and utilize it effectively. What else is going on today? It looks like, well, Mercury just went into Aries. And when Mercury goes into Aries, our communication, Mercury represents our intellect and our communication in a lot of ways. Excuse me. And when Mercury goes into Aries from Pisces, Pisces is this kind of like watery, cool end of the zodiac, a very like let go, let's not talk about anything kind of sign. All my thoughts are internal in Pisces. And when Mercury moves from that kind of internal reflective kind of intellectual experience into the external reflective, or not so reflective but projective maybe in a way, experience of Aries, because Aries represents the start of the zodiac, maybe our speech gets, we start talking more, we start wanting to express ourselves more fiery, in more fiery ways, so we get maybe more amped up and argumentative in our communication, so it's something to be aware of, not to get into fights or anything like that, especially over misunderstandings, because Mercury is a very fast-moving sign. Our intellect, when it's very sharp, is able to delineate and distinguish between things and choose words to speak and whatnot, and very effectively and very rapidly. So when it comes into this fast, airy, or fiery Aries, there tends to be this like burning, fast, ultra fast pace of the way in which we speak. So, and the way in which we think. And if we're not careful or cautious, Aries has this kind of Martian energy behind it, which is more of a fighter energy, or a defensive kind of vibe, you might say. So when Mercury comes into Aries, we might get more defensive and we might be more willing to get into arguments subconsciously. So that's why I say beware of your temperament and how fast you are, how quick you are to anger. And now that actually brings me to Mars in general, because if you look over here in the top corner, Mars is in Gemini. And so now Mars is in Gemini, which is ruled by or associated with Mercury. So they're actually exchanging signs, which is a very strong relationship. It develops a very strong bond between planets when they're exchanging kind of energetic signs. And so when Mars is in Gemini, as we have, and Mercury is at the same time in Aries, they're adding to each other's intelligence in a way, as the intelligence of Mars relates to our ability to protect ourselves and defend the things that we love. And the intelligence of Mercury is related to our ability to intellectually process things very quickly and communicate skillfully and effectively. So when you cross those two energies, you end up getting a lot more of this fiery communication, and maybe our communication is more defensive in general or aggressive. And so, like I've been saying, it kind of all adds to this fire in the way we speak. So, depending on where Gemini and Aries are in your chart, though, it might affect you in a different way. You might have, if you're a Scorpio rising, Aries is going to be your 6th house, and Gemini is going to be your 8th house. So you'll have this kind of fiery communication and exchange of thoughts, and kind of a passionate, kind of aggressive approach to learning and to expressing yourself. And since it's the 6th and 8th house, it'll bring those 6 qualities of aggression and potential enemies or difficulty or day-to-day routines and responsibilities, basically. So we might be more passionate and fiery about getting our work done, or if we don't get our work done, we might get into fights or arguments, or sometimes these incur debts when this kind of stuff happens in the sixth house. And then in the eighth house, it's adding this kind of dark. It doesn't have to be dark. It could be more of like this research, deep research, and penetrating awareness, and trying to read between the lines and look at the counter arguments to different things. This eighth house is more of a kind of a unsettling and peek between the rug, peek behind the curtain kind of energy. So we might, if you're a Scorpio, you might be looking more into your deep research projects and all the, the dark, occult, or hidden things that you like to discover and enjoy. You might be feeling more geared up in your research. Or you might be arguing with people about what you've learned through that deep research because of the sixth house influence. So these are different ways that they affect us as individuals because we all have a different rising sign. And I think just for that, I'm going to do it right there. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you want, feel free to join me live anytime. I'm doing this. I'm happy to answer questions. Leave a comment below if you have any questions for me after this video is posted. And then otherwise, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of these. And then I do just regular moon forecasts and planetary kind of transition forecasts as we go. So if you want to check out more of my stuff, just subscribe below. Otherwise, have a fantastic day. Peace and love.